Thank you for tuning in to Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Greeno. This is my buddy, Dan G.
How's it going, Pat?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, what's new?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, summer.
Yeah.
Enjoying it a little bit.
It's nice and warm.
Yeah, it's gotten very warm.
It's very warm. So tell us what you brought today.
This is a new acquisition for the McGwire personal collection. I got this from our Met buddy at the National, Wade Boggs Nate.
Sure.
He and I worked a deal on a couple cards, and
Good.
This was one that was kind of one of those, well, if you want it, I've got it, and I didn't have it, and I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, send it, you know. And then when I got it, I was like, man, this is of the two cards, this is my favorite, right? I mean, it's an absolutely gorgeous card. So it's the 2017 Topps Stadium Club, the Chrome Gold Minted Refractor, right? So they are case hits,
Really?
from what I understand.
Okay.
As far as population-wise, I really don't know. You know, it's hard to say with Topps based on how many, you know, cases they make.
Sure.
You know, but past experiences told me they're probably numbered to 25 or less.
These, okay.
I mean, I would suspect at least the population would be 25 or less, but I could be entirely wrong. It could be 50, it could be 100.
Right.
You know, I don't see too many of them floating around on eBay.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, I don't see any McGwires right now. There was one that sold a while back, but only one. You know, so but it just showed up, and it was a total surprise how cool the card looked in person. Honestly, had I known back in the day when the 2017 back in the day,
it was last year.
I would have probably sought it out sooner and probably picked up, you know, a few of the investing players, you know, the other people like Trout or Bryce Harper or somebody,
sure,
you know, of that caliber. I think they're cool, you know. It was a really pleasant surprise. It was kind of like when I first picked up my 1999 Steel and Stars Dome holographic.
Oh, Stars and Steel.
Or Stars and Steel.
Yeah.
It just was totally like, wow.
Mind-blowing.
Never saw it
Yeah,
in person, and then all of a sudden it was there in hand, and I was like, man, this is a beautiful card. That's kind of how I felt about this one. Really just a cool card. And, you know, the pictures, and I'm sure the video doesn't do it justice, so I'm sure anybody of the viewers, if they've seen them in person, probably would agree. Mm-hmm. They're really, really pretty. So just excited to have it and add it to the personal collection.
Did you not chase this run when it came out last year?
I did not.
Oh.
I did pick up a few of the parallels at the National in Chicago. I did find a table where the guy had stacks of, you know, the gold foils and, you know, the black and all of those. But I didn't see any of the chromes, and I definitely didn't see any of the gold minted refractors.
Wow, that's really cool, man. Yeah, I didn't chase this at all in 2017 because it was just like one of countless different products that Thomas was featured in. It becomes kind of like, what do you go after?
There's so many in this. Like, there's the paper version, and then there's all the parallels of the paper version, and then there's the chrome version, right, which doesn't have nearly as many parallels, but still, you know, there are parallels, and so I can see how it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
And, you know, if I have the opportunity to pick them up, sure. Why not?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
This, right, I kind of thought, well, you know, maybe I'm paying a little much for it, but in hindsight, I really think it was worth.
Now, you said it was an addendum to a purchase,
right? So it was a bundle. Yeah.
Okay, so this was something the guy was like, well, I also have this. Would you like this too? And you're like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And you like got this in hand, and you're like, man, this is way cooler than the original card.
Yeah.
I wanted.
Correct.
And what may I ask what the original card was?
So. Oh, I can't remember the year, but it was the Stadium Club first day issue refractor, numbered to 25 without the serial number, though.
Okay, it's like the 2000.
Yeah.
But the one you had was the, you see, like, it's not really a replacement, but it's like it's the proof version of it or whatever.
Right.
Those are actually quite rare. But yeah, these are cool, man. I'm glad that you grabbed this. This is a nice piece. I really like the release in 2017. Like I said, I didn't tackle it, but I still like it. And at the right price, I would grab, you know, one or two different versions or whatever.
Sure. Or the run of them if they have a lot or something, right? I
mean, I know that the one of one has been accounted for, so I'm not going to ever be able to complete the run unless that one's, you know, enters the market again, which I don't anticipate it would. But it might be nice to have, a version like this in my collection.
There was 1-of-1 in papers, and then there was 1-of-1 in chrome, I believe. So there were 2 1-of-1s for each of the cards.
Among the about 10,000 different versions of this card that you can
buy. And then
buy.
the proofs and everything else that shows up, right?
So great. Yeah, this is cool, man. I'm glad you got this. So in 2017, did you tackle a lot of McGwire stuff?
No, I did not. I mean, occasionally I pick up a few cards here and there, and I like to try and get some of the high tech when it comes out.
Oh yeah,
I really enjoy the high tech.
High tech's great.
But last year I didn't really seek out many, and with the high tech, it's like they took the parallels, right, and then they exponentially increased the number. It was crazy, and then there was the blackout versions, and then there was,
Tech is known for this mega parallel runs.
Yeah, but usually it's just patterns and then the diffractors, but now there's all the different types of diffractors, and then add in the blackouts on top of that, and I'm like, man, it's
a lot.
Too many.
I did Tech in 14 and 15 pretty ardently. I think in 14, like, I was very rigorously focused on the run. 15 kind of focused, didn't even touch it in 16.
Yeah.
Didn't even touch it. I think I had maybe acquired something from a friend at the National, just gave it to me.
Right.
But I haven't bought any of it. But I do like the acetate cards, the plastic cards.
Yeah, for sure.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
That's another conversation, of course, but I like the 2017 Stadium Club Chrome stuff. That whole run, I thought it was cool that they brought it back, and it's focused on design instead of relics and autographs. And
right.
I think that there's something special place for that kind of stuff in the hobby, and I really like that, And as you can see, it's Dan uses our fitted top loader bags. So thank you, Dan.
Sure.
It's a great presentation, very fitted against the 20-point top loader there.
Sure. And
awesome
there's a smudge on the case. I'm gonna have to replace that when I get home.
Okay.
Didn't see that until I walked in.
I'm like that too.
Yeah.
So this is great, man. Thanks for bringing this over.
Sure.
Good stuff. I love it.
Take a look.
It's really nice, man. Great presentation. Great presentation. So we're going to kind of go back to the mid-90s, I'd say, and talk about a pitcher that came up with the Los Angeles Dodgers back in '94, and he was a big prospect, and he was really popular for a while. You might remember this guy, Chan-Ho Park.
Oh yeah, I got his signature when he played for the Dukes.
Okay, so he's been shuffled about. He had a long career. He was an all-star for a year, and I've been kind of considering a buy of his one really nice Chan-Ho Park rookie card, and I'd looked at like the finest refractor, the Bowman's best refractor, the Stadium Club first day issue, and I was like, yeah, those are nice, but I want something a little bit more like obscure, but super rare.
Right. And
so when this popped, and this was, I discovered this kind of, like I say, serendipitously because I wasn't looking for it, but I saw a seller that had other things that I liked, and I was looking at his other items, and this was on it, and I was like, oh man, I got to get this. And so in '94, Sportflics had a rookie traded set that was a relatively limited quantity, and an even more limited quantity artist proof parallel of the set. And the biggest card of the set's the A-Rod, and that's like one of his bigger cards. It's expensive, very expensive A-Rod card. Could be anywhere in the high threes, low grand to 1,500 right in there. At this time, anyway, at the time of this recording. And I was like, well, I hadn't really chased anything in the '94 rookie traded Sportflics run, and when this popped, I was like, well, man, that's perfect. This is the Chan-Ho Park artist proof rookie card in the set, the '94 Sportflics rookie traded set, and I was really glad to get this because I hadn't been looking for it, and I didn't even realize that he was in the set. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is the one. Like, it's rare. It's a very limited quantity. I don't know the print run on artist proofs. I just know they're I think it's like 1 in 24 or 25 packs. They were hard to get.
Right.
And I didn't have any exposure with this product when it came out in '94.
Okay.
I didn't realize. I didn't know how it was distributed. It wasn't until years later that I discovered the artist proofs were like very rare. And artist proof stamping on this like that like matrix pattern stuff that exists on the Sportflics cards. I've always liked that. It's a very intriguing design embed there. It's really cool. So I grabbed this, and actually, this wasn't a cheap card. Like I had to fight for it.
And he still has a pretty strong following.
Yeah, I'm certain of it actually because of the other bidders were aggressive. I was just more aggressive because I wanted it. But Really pleased to add this to my collection. And, you know, I might still add, like, the refractors and first days later. First day's very affordable. It's just a couple bucks. Refractors, depending on the grade and whatever, they can be, you know, pretty high. For the example, 94 Finest Refractor PSA 10, a rookie of this, sold for $225 auction style. I mean, it was a big sale. So I might, in time, acquire some of the other pieces, but I'm really pleased with this. And this, to me, I think is the most important of his rookie cards because it's the rarest one.
Sounds good.
So this is the 1994 Sportflics Rookie Traded Artist Proof Chan-Ho Park rookie card. Dan, you remember the hype around Chan-Ho Park when he came
I do. I mean, it was crazy. Like I said, he did his minor league stint at the Dukes for a while, and when he was there, we were trying desperately to get him as kids to sign cards. I have a recollection that he signed. I want to say it was an embossed card. I can't remember the maker.
A major brand?
But it was kind of like an offshoot.
Like an action-packed
thing?
Yeah,
like an action-packed thing. It might have been an action-packed card, but I had him sign it, and he signed it in you know, the script. I don't remember his nationality.
He's Korean.
Korean. Yeah. So then he signed it in Korean.
Yeah.
And I was just like, as a kid, it was like, wow.
Totally.
Yeah. So maybe next time I'll bring it.
That's pretty cool. I like that stuff. I've actually, you know, wouldn't mind having a rookie of his signed, you know, but I'm not pursuing it. I just think it's kind of a cool concept.
Right.
He's in so many cool sets from '94, like Topps Traded. You know, he's in that set.
Right.
He's in just a variety of different. '94 is an interesting time to collect because it was like that strike year, like '94, '95, right? And that block when it was brands were learning to compete heavily against one another, and so they're creating these really interesting designs, and it really took off in the late 90s, as we know, but '94 was a very good time too because we started to see some of those rare parallels, artist proofs and things, and I really liked these like obscure extended sets that came out during that time that I actually, because I never bought the set and that's the only way to get it, there's still cards I'm learning about in those sets.
Right.
And when I buy them, I don't want to open them. I'm going to leave them sealed, so I really don't have minimal exposure to all the cards in the set, so I learn about, I mean, I could go in and look at the checklist and whatever, make, you know, take the surprise out of it. But I like this stumbling on the education of the card and the player and the, you know, the rarity and this kind of thing. So
Sportflics always has a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
That was the first set, 1996 rookies. Sportflics set was the first set I ever purchased.
Really?
Yeah, my grandma actually bought it for me. I loved it. Loved it. I don't know where it is now. I might still have it. I might not.
He has a lot more cards than I do. His card room is way bigger than mine.
But, you know, just one of those things when I see it, I'm like, oh man, love that set.
I've always been a huge fan of Sportflics. I love the design concept. To like move it around and it manipulates with the angle in which you're seeing it. Correct. I love that. And in '94, I have like very vivid memories of being middle school right in there, and some of the cards that came out, I was still collecting Griffey at the time, so like, and David Justice and Carlos Baerga and some of these other, Alomar and these other guys, and they were all in these sets, and I remember being like, man, it's packed with superstars. And I still remember, you know, the first time I acquired one, I was like, this is such a cool card, just a base card, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
But you know, Chan-Ho didn't make it in my collection until many years later, and so I was really glad to finally add this.
That's cool.
I haven't decided if I do get this graded which company I'll use, as it doesn't really need one or the other. It can go either way. But I do like the presentation of this card. I think it's just such a great card. And you know that prices for these artist proofs are all over the board. You get them for like $1 all the way up to like $1,500 depending on the player. And the $1,500 is generally the A-Rods, right? Right. And then you got the Chan-Ho who sells auction style for like $65. But like there are other
surprising.
Players. It is. It's high. And so then you got like Jim Edmonds is in there, Bo Jackson's in there, Will Clark is in there, and so they all have the artist proof parallels too, among the other players that are listed in this set. So cool stuff. I'm glad that we were able to cover these cards tonight.
Cool.
This is the '94 Sportflics Rookie Traded artist proof parallel of Chan-Ho Park, his rookie card. Good stuff. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in to Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Greeno. Thank you, Dan, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. And until next time, enjoy collecting.
Take care.
If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy collecting.